And it is an honor from Seattle, Washington, weighing in at 175 pounds, Bryan Alvarez. And he's accompanied by the Grappler.
New Revolution Wrestling, the best of 2006, back again in full effect. Matt Legit, joined once again by Skag Rollins. Skag, thanks for joining me here as we see Bryan Alvarez taking on Buddy Wayne in what, in my opinion, is one of the best matches in NRW history thus far.
Yeah, I'd actually have to agree with you on that. And you see, in Bryan Alvarez's corner, a man I know very well, the NRW Commissioner, the Grappler, legend in the Pacific Northwest, Buddy Wayne, true veteran of the Pacific Northwest. In his corner, icon of the Pacific Northwest, you almost want to say, Richie Magnet, and Bryan Alvarez standing in that corner. I always get those two confused. Bryan Alvarez standing in the corner, host of F4W Wrestling Online on the internet, host of the Bryan and Vinny Show.
Absolutely, the Bryan and Vinny Show, very popular with fans all across the nation and I'm assuming around the world.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's actually gotten quite a bit of press for NRW because Buddy Wayne and Bryan Alvarez have both been on that show, but Bryan has stated on record on that show that he would never wrestle for any other company in the Pacific Northwest outside of right here in New Revolution Wrestling.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't blame him. All the other federations in the Northwest suck. Let's face facts. Professional wrestling for the last 10 years has been no better than dirt here in the Pacific Northwest. And thank God for New Revolution Wrestling finally coming to the aid of the ailing, dying, suffocating professional wrestling industry in the Pacific Northwest. If it wasn't for NRW, I'd probably have a shotgun in my mouth right now because of the state of professional wrestling. So thank God for everyone involved in New Revolution Wrestling. We've got Bryan Alvarez taking on Buddy Wayne in a tremendous matchup that you're not going to get to see anywhere else. And that's not just hype. That's the truth.
Well, that is the truth, and obviously everybody has their opinions of the Pacific Northwest wrestling scene. You can see how numbers and the crowds in every promotion have dwindled. This is an area that used to draw upwards of 2,000 people every single week. Now, you're lucky if you draw 100 people, and the fact of the matter is that the wrestling business in the Pacific Northwest has been hurt. It's been damaged by a lot of guys who are just basically letting untrained so-called professional wrestlers in the ring. NRW is here not just to be New Revolution Wrestling, and they don't just call themselves that because it sounds cool. It's New Revolution Wrestling because this is the revolution of professional wrestling. We're seeing two true pros in the ring right now, in Buddy Wayne and Bryan Alvarez.
Absolutely. NRW is setting a standard for professional wrestling in the Pacific Northwest and across the nation as far as I'm concerned. As you see two great competitors right now locking horns. Bryan Alvarez pushes Buddy Wayne back into the ropes, and of course you're going to get a clean break out of Alvarez, a true gentleman in and out of the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that's okay, but sometimes you have to be a little less than gentlemanly. But
especially against a guy like Buddy Wayne, and taking nothing away from Buddy Wayne, he is an incredible athlete and a true legend in the making here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, as far as Bryan Alvarez being a gentleman, one person who's not a gentleman, I can tell you, is that man standing out there in the ring in the mask, the Grappler. He's as dirty as they come in this game, I can guarantee you that. I know the man well, he managed me for quite some time. And the Grappler in Bryan Alvarez's corner could actually be exactly what Alvarez needs in this match.
Definitely evening the odds with Richie Magnet being in Buddy Wayne's corner.
And look at this, Buddy Wayne obviously distracted by the Grappler. That's one of the things that was great about having Grappler at ringside. He could distract your opponent just by his presence. I mean, he's one of those guys who has such a name in the Pacific Northwest that guys would really want to just take pot shots just to say that they knocked out the Grappler. If they ever could. No one's ever been able to make that claim, though. Buddy Wayne might try it tonight.
Buddy Wayne not giving a clean break to Bryan Alvarez, punching him in the stomach, and quickly taking control. Big close fist. That was obviously a close fist. I don't know who this referee is, but come on, he should be admonishing Buddy Wayne for that a little bit more.
Yeah, gave him a shot to the jaw. Could have been a shot to the throat easily. That's the reason why they try not to have a closed fist here in wrestling. It's not going to get you disqualification, but definitely admonished by referees in professional wrestling. I'm all tongue-tied now.
And you see Bryan Alvarez taking control quickly in this matchup, slamming Buddy Wayne's head into the turnbuckle, taking him over to the next turnbuckle. And then next, I think we're going to all four corners here tonight. Oh, Buddy Wayne quickly breaks it, though.
Tried to take him all the way around the world.
Oh!
Buddy Wayne stopped. But there he goes.
And Buddy Wayne is just a tremendous athlete, a tremendous talent. I remember watching him when I was younger at Sandy Barr's Championship Wrestling USA over in Vancouver, Washington. And Buddy was a staple of that show. I mean, Buddy's one of the reasons people went to
There's
that
the
show.
grappler! Right there with a sweet chop to the chest of Buddy Wayne. Knocks him right down on the floor.
And Buddy definitely hurting after that. One guy you do not want to mess with outside that ring is the grappler.
Outside the ring, inside the ring, anywhere. You do not want to mess with the grappler, believe it. I know the man well.
And Alvarez coming over there. Richie Magnet protecting Buddy Wayne. Making sure he's okay. Isn't that cute? How he gently rubs him on the back.
Alright, you're starting to get a little homoerotic right there, Matt. But the bottom line is, Richie Magnet out there for an obvious purpose. Grappler out there to counter that purpose. And now these two men both standing face to face. This match is a long way from being over.
Buddy Wayne taking a second to kind of orient himself with what he's gotten himself into here.
Well, you're not a professional wrestler for well over a decade and not know the pacing, not know how to work your opponent in the ring. That's exactly what he's doing at this point. Bryan Alvarez wrestled. He started wrestling about 8 years ago, but took the last several years off. Has only been making sporadic appearances. One of the last appearances he's wrestled in the Northwest was a part of a three-man team with me and the Ladies' Choice, known as the Knights of Ecstasy.
Buddy Wayne driving him outside of the ring now. Bryan Alvarez splashing to the floor.
Right at the feet of Katrina Royale, who actually was there.
Right at the feet of Richie Magnet, who takes control of Bryan Alvarez and slams his lower back into the ring.
And you got to give Buddy Wayne credit, because at this point he's got referee Dan Adams distracted, so that Dan Adams did not see any of that action going on outside the ring. Buddy Wayne just measuring him there.
Goes for the pin. 2 count only, though. It's going to take a little bit more than that if you want to pin Bryan Alvarez's shoulders to the mat.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is just part of exactly what type of action you're going to see in New Revolution Wrestling at the Rec Center every Friday night. Bell time's at 7:30. It's on the corner, 215th and Stark. There isn't anything quite like good old-fashioned, old-school, blood, sweat, and tears professional wrestling, unlike that Cameron Starr and Hans Mueller match, which was nothing like good old-fashioned blood, sweat, and tears professional wrestling. But that's another story for another day. Bottom line here, Buddy Wayne now in control of Bryan Alvarez.
Wow, Skate Rollins a little bit of a gunslinger tonight, shooting from the hip. As we see Buddy Wayne just dominating Bryan Alvarez now with that sleeper hold, driving him down to the ground.
You do not want to spit at that man right there, I can guarantee you that.
And Grappler making sure the referee is checking to make sure that is not a choke. Oh, the arm falls twice. This could be it for Bryan Alvarez. It could be over. Oh, no! Alvarez trying to get back to a vertical base. Driving the elbows into the stomach. Oh,
and you can see right there, you got to question the referee's intelligence right there, because Buddy Wayne obviously had a handful of his hair right there.
And look at Richie Magnet choking him over that middle rope.
And Buddy Wayne, the grappler, coming over to do his job to counter Richie Magnet. Buddy Wayne calls attention to that. The referee goes over to the grappler. Meanwhile, Bryan Alvarez back on his feet with a huge chop.
Buddy Wayne comes back with a chop of his own, though. Blocks the chop from Alvarez. Now got the claw hold on him.
He's got that famous Von Erich iron claw, Matt.
Just applying tremendous pressure to the temples of Bryan Alvarez. And Alvarez has a claw on him. Double claws?
Double claw. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the move. This is a very, very devastating hold. It's one that I've used many times. That might be the only thing more devastating than a good old-fashioned claw hold.
Now picking a fight with the Grappler.
Just kicking the man in the Culbertsons, and now the Grappler again. Caught
claw hold on the balls! Claw hold on the balls! Oh!
You okay there, Matt?
Oh!
Bryan Alvarez obviously feeling the pain of that move. I think my co-host at this point is as well.
That's not right. You don't do that to a guy. That's not right.
The referee definitely should have maybe done a little bit more than admonishing. What kind of mindset do you have, though, if you're Buddy Wayne, that you're going so far as to actually do that to another man?
Well, the testicular claw hold can be a very effective maneuver.
Yeah, you can see this. Bryan Alvarez, the one thing that it can do also, you're going to piss your opponent off to the point where you're going to want to make sure that he cannot respond to your own shots. Because if that man gets up, now not only is he trying to beat you, but he's trying to kick the hell out of you for grabbing his sack.
Now Alvarez has a sleeper of his own on Buddy Wayne. Buddy trying to drive him back into the corner and manages to do it. Calling for Richie Magnet to come in. Richie's got a chair.
This is just stupid because the referee is here in New Revolution Wrestling. This is professional wrestling. He sees that, he's going to take that chair away from him, obviously. And he's got the boot! He's got the grappler's boot! That boot, that orthopedic special designed shoe is legendary in the Pacific Northwest. And he got the 3-count.
Bryan Alvarez advances in the tournament to go on to the to contend for the Pacific Coast Heavyweight title with the help of the Grappler and that loaded boot Grappler is so well known for. And now they're just stomping the living daylights out of the Grappler and Bryan Alvarez. Oh, Wayne's got the boot.
I got the boot. Now, now there's a couple things that you got to keep in mind here at this point, Matt. You got to remember, we were here this night, and we know what happened. Bryan Alvarez, who was like I said, his career was cut short. You see Hans Mueller and Kate Matthews coming out. Bryan Alvarez's career was cut short due to neck injuries. If you notice, that boot, that orthopedic surgically enhanced boot, went right to the neck of Bryan Alvarez. Alvarez actually won this match, but was not able to advance in the tournament due to the injuries that suffered. You'll see Bryan Alvarez was actually able to get out of the ring with the help of Kate Matthews and Hans Mueller. Back in the dressing room, I remember being there that night. Alvarez actually collapsed and had to be taken to the emergency room. And the Grappler, as a matter of fact, wouldn't clear him to wrestle because he didn't have the doctor's clearance to wrestle in the upcoming matches in the tournament. So therefore, what basically happened as a result of all this is Matt Farmer would actually get a bye into the quarterfinals of the tournament,
where he would go on to take on Hans Mueller. But that's something for next time on New Revolution Wrestling, the best of 2006, when we bring you the NRW Pacific Coast Heavyweight Title Tournament Finals. So you're going to have to stay tuned, check your local listings.
That's right, and also we want to remind you that for the up-to-date information on New Revolution Wrestling, go to www.myspace.com/NRW_wrestling.
And don't forget NRW TV every Wednesday night, Channel 11 at 11. Every Thursday night, Channel 21 at 11. We'll see you next time on New Revolution Wrestling, the best of 2006.